What a heavy, dark episode. This entire season really should have just been a wash. Like, my God. The Ultimatum, Season 2, Episode 7. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. I hope this is the video that changes your mind and makes you want to join the family, okay? Um, Roxanne and Antonio. So they have sex right away. Okay. The next morning she said that he smelled like a funyun, but she initiated sex anyways. Antonio said that he woke up feeling confident. You couldn't have. You were musty. You were musty. It's not funny, but it's like, how were you confident smelling like that? If she said you smelled like a funyun, you smelled yourself. She said she's going to work on saying I love you. They talk about her stance on marriage not changing. Antonio feels that a married person is more credible. Uh, I've heard that before, and the reasoning he gave, because they're more responsible after take care of family, whatever. I don't believe that, right? I don't think that I am single. I am single, right? Not married. To me, if you're not married, you're single. I am single. I have friends that are married. Do I think that they are more credible than me because they have husbands? No. So do you lose your credibility if you get a divorce? So I don't understand why Antonio doesn't work. Roxanne has said that one of the things that she liked about being with Alex is when she woke up, she knows that he was at work during the day. She didn't have to worry about Alex sleeping in all day or Alex just waking up late or not doing anything. So like, does Antonio work part-time? Like, Antonio, this is what gets me. Antonio said that he was getting to the point where he would be able to start covering the bills and taking care of her, right? Y'all did the math. Antonio makes max $14.50 a month. And I believe that, when we're doing the math on that, that's including take home pay. That's not, you know, gross. Gross is the total, right? That's not gross. This is after taxes. We're talking his net pay is $14.50. You can't even rent a fucking apartment with that. Not a good one. Not a good one. Why don't you work? So is Antonio lying or something is not making sense? Because you can't say that you $500 is 35% of what you bring home in a month and then turn around and say, but you're getting to that point very soon where you will be able to take care of all the bills and to carry them. The math ain't mathing. He then said that he is scared that she would never think of marriage as the next important step. I guess the bigger issue is, Antonio, why do you think marriage is the next logical step for y'all when you don't work? You don't work full time. You don't, $500 is 35% of your monthly income. You can't afford anything in 2023. Why do you think that marriage is the next logical step? Maybe Antonio's trying to trap her. Maybe he's trying to just, he wants a sugar mama. But like, I think we really need to get to the root of why Antonio wants to get married. Forget why Roxanne does not want to. Antonio, why do you want to be married? That is my question. That's my question. We then have Kat and Alex. She lets him know that he's not super vulnerable with emotions because he's weird. He's weird as fuck. She lets him know that, you don't always have to feel tough all the time. You don't always have to be tough. It's okay to, not be on this tough guy, macho type deal. He then tells her that, well, I have to be tough because, you're docile and you're quiet and you need somebody to take the reins for you. Alex wants somebody he can control. Kat is that person. He said that words of affirmation don't do anything for him because they have a conversation about saying I love you as well. He said that it's hard to try to give the type of love to somebody, their love language, when it's not the type of love that you need to get. So in Alex's mind, because he doesn't really care about actually hearing Kat say I love you to him, so because he doesn't care about actually hearing it, he doesn't understand exactly why she wants to hear it. For him, it's more, I think it sounded like he was describing just acts of service, doing something so that at noon he thinks that you think about him or whatever the case. But I think the issue, Alex, the part that he's missing is just because your love language is not physical touch or words of affirmation, that doesn't mean that you don't give it to somebody whose love language it is. I don't understand how they're in a relationship. I don't even know if he likes her. It's interesting. Very, very, it's peculiar. So we have Roxanne and, no, excuse me, we have Ryan and James. They're out. Ryan tells James that, because they're matching, okay? Look like they both got on like a little green situation. I don't know if that was green or gray. She decides to say, this is the same outfit that I wore when me and Trey went to the winery. Why would you bring that up? Why? Not only am I now questioning why you wore the same thing 2 weeks in a row or two, over two extra weeks. Like maybe you didn't pack a lot of stuff. I don't know. But why was that necessary to bring up? I was with James. I'm gonna need you to stop bringing Trey up. Cause she's talking about how we used to match all the time. We would just get dressed and boop, we got on the same colors. What how is this pertinent to the conversation right now? He said that he was envious of their relationship. She said that you know what, I grew over the past 3 weeks. So this whole entire conversation, let me sum it up. She said that she has grown over the past 3 weeks, right? She's gotten to a point now where she knows what she wants and what she does not want. What she wants is marriage and a family and communication and emotional connection. That's what she wants. And she wants him to remember, don't think I won't leave you. She has said it. He thinks that, he won't ever lose her. And I think that it didn't hit James that he could lose her until she started getting attention during the choice. She doesn't want to settle. She doesn't want him to think that he is settling. I don't know what his dream job is, but it must be something that they don't agree on. And she doesn't want him to resent her in the future if he does not go into that field. So she wants to know that he is going to make them as a couple and their, future family as a priority. He asks her, what do you need for me to do to prove that? And she was like, I can't give you a list. It's not, I can't tell you 3 bullet point things to do. I just have to kind of see it and feel it. Then she reminds him, at the end of the day, we are here on the ultimatum. Okay. We are here on the ultimatum. Raya and Trey, they're sitting on the couch chilling. He wants her to come closer. She was like, because he needs physical affection. She was like, well, I don't want to get too close. And he was like, well, why? She said, because I still need my space. I'm upset with you. He turned around and says, you're not upset with me. Don't do that, Trey. Don't do that. And I know that a lot of people are saying that Raya is not ready for marriage and all this other type of stuff. I don't think Trey is either. It's easy to see her. It's easy to see her shortcomings and her downfalls because they're more glaring, they're more obvious. But what I have seen, especially in this particular scene, Trey's not ready for marriage either. He's not ready either. So she is still trying to figure out how does she move forward from him saying that, he had caught feelings for Ryan. I understand her point, right? I understand her thing. You issued the ultimatum to me. So for you to come here and catch feelings over 3 weeks of being with somebody else, yeah, that's gonna hurt my feelings too. Because is it that you really love me, or do you just want to be married? Because you caught feelings with somebody else that really wants to get married. He tells her, well, my feelings for you never changed. I, that's fine. Two things can be true at once, but that doesn't take away the hurt that it caused. And I think what bothers me about Trey is he's selfish. Let's call a spade a spade. Trey is selfish, and we see it in this conversation. Well, I caught feelings, and you need to get over it because I still love you. I still have feelings for you, so just get over it. Acknowledge the fact that she's hurt. Acknowledge the fact that she's hurt. Figure out together how y'all can move forward. So then she was like, I do want to get married, but you've never asked me about that. You've never asked me how I felt about marriage. You've never asked me how a marriage looks to me. And so he was like, okay, well, what is it? She was like, us having an emotional connection and having good communication. So he was like, I didn't think you would have an answer. Have y'all talked about marriage? Or is it truly what she's saying? You saying, I want to get married. I want to get married by this date. I want to get married now. You should be wanting to get married because I want to get married now. Trey is selfish, y'all. She then talks about compromise. She wants to live in the city for a year. He does not want to live in the city. Um, he said that he's not gonna he wants to have a plan. If we're gonna live in the city, it needs to be a plan on how we can get back out, I guess, to the suburbs. He doesn't want to do anything that's on a whim. So she says she's wondering if he even really wants to get married. We then circle back to city life, and he's like, well, why do you want to live in the city? She said because she never has. And here's the thing. I live in Milwaukee. I grew up in a city, right? Residential area. So not like I've never lived like downtown or on like a downtown. You know, some suburbs have downtown strips. I've never lived on a downtown strip, but there is a difference. I'm assuming from me living in the city of Milwaukee and then somebody living in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Packers are. This Milwaukee is a city. Milwaukee is a big city. We don't get acknowledged as one, but Milwaukee is a major city, right? So there's a difference for people that live here in Milwaukee than it is for people that live up in Madison or Green Bay, Wisconsin, where life kind of revolves around one entity, the Packers. There's a difference. She wants to experience living in the city. That's something that she wants. He was like, well, why don't you just go do that? He was like, fine, you can go do that. And then I'll be out here with the house and stuff. And then when you're ready, you can move on out. And she's like, no, the purpose is for us to do it together. He doesn't want to. So he was like, well, we have to compromise. And his compromise is them doing it separately. And it comes down to, I guess the thing is, Trey, why he said it doesn't make sense to uproot their jobs and all this other stuff to move. And that's true. To move for a year. He probably doesn't want to raise kids in the city. But then it makes me wonder, how far out of the city are y'all? Like, y'all said this is what, South Carolina? Is she trying to get to Charlotte? Like, Charlotte's in South Carolina, right? Charlotte, South Carolina? Charlotte, North Carolina. Is she trying to get to like downtown Charlotte or downtown major city? I think we need more clarification on that. But for him to say with the compromise, I think a compromise is her just wanting to live a year. I think that's a good compromise. But I don't know. But a lot of this, he can keep saying that he's doing a lot of compromising, but it really doesn't seem like you are, Trey. It doesn't seem like he really is. It seems like she's making all the concessions and he wants things to go the way that he does because he has his life together. Y'all are on two different levels in life right now. Y'all, like, they don't need to be together. If he's not willing to kind of hang on a little bit for her to get to where she wants her life to be, or make a plan on how she can get to the career she wants, get to the life she wants, and do all that stuff, then y'all don't need to be together. But I think Trey is selfish. So he then said that some people are just not compatible. And she was like, so then what are we doing? Familiarity, comfortability. That's what y'all are doing. We then get to Kat and Alex. Kat is out with some friends, and she's wondering if she still even really wants to get engaged to Alex. So her friends say that sometimes when a guy says he does not want to get married, it just means they don't want to get married to you. Bingo. Bing-a-ling-a-ling, okay? So Alex joins them, and I felt like one of her friends was doing way too much. The one that kept pointing, what do you want to do, Alex? What do you want to do? And I was like, girl, fall back. Here's the thing. Alex said that he knows the repercussions of what is going to happen during this process. He's such an asshole, though, that I don't even know why y'all keep engaging in conversation with him. I don't know why. He can't answer a question straight because he doesn't want to. He plays games. Quit asking this stupid ass stuff. Be done with it. I don't think the friends need to be involved in this. Because this conversation here helped absolutely nothing. This didn't help. Roxanne and Antonio. These last three scenes were doozies, all right? Roxanne and Antonio come in from wherever. She's talking to the cat. Tells the cat, I love you. He turns around. Who are you talking to? He then looks at her. I love you. She said, He's looking at her. She rolls her eyes and was like, I love you too? So he was like, wow, okay. She said that she's not going to say stuff she doesn't mean. And she tried to whisper it. She had to whisper it and hide her mouth from the camera. She tried not to embarrass him, but it was too late because we heard, in the caption heard, the subtitles heard. So he said that he's upset. She tells him, are you offended? What do you think, dumbass? Of course he's offended. I would be offended too if I've been dating somebody for 2 years and I tell this person I love you and you can't say it back, but you just said it to the cat. Why wouldn't he be offended? He wants to know, how do you feel about me? I want to hear it, whether good or bad. She said, come, okay, come sit down. Come sit down. I'm thinking they really getting ready to get into it and talk. She puts her feet on his lap and it's like, this will make you feel better. The way he looked at her, and she was like, okay, so usually you laugh. He feels that he is not good enough for her. He said he doesn't understand why he has to push her to say that she cares about him. He feels that they just have a different level of respect for each other. Alex told you she didn't respect you. Alex told you. You said Alex was lying. You're seeing it now in the flesh, right in front of you. She does not respect you. She then said, well, you like sports, okay? There are different leagues. Right then when she said that, she is telling you, Antonio, that she is out of your league. So he was like, so what are you saying? You're a pro, I'm an amateur? You're an Olympian, I'm a pro? And it's like, y'all, please tell me what drug Antonio was on, allegedly. Please tell me what drug he's on. This man cannot be sober and in his right mind with some of the stuff that he says. He cannot. I refuse to believe he is. I can't wait to this reunion. We need to bring in a real reunion host. Not Nick, not Vanessa Lachey. Go get Tamar. Go get Andy Cohen. Go get Miss Gossip Girl. Go get Egypt Sherrod. Go get Sean Robinson. Go get Kevin Frazier. We need a real reunion host that is going to ask these people, what were you thinking? She then basically tells him she is in a different era of her life. She's telling you, without using the word, because she likes to play semantics, I'm not saying we're in different leagues, but I'm in a different era of my life. Just like Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are in a different era of their career than the little kids that I saw practicing football today that are probably fourth graders. Different eras. They're different leagues. That's what that means. So she then tells him that, if you think that I expect too much or whatever the case, then you need to go find a little 20-year-old that expects less. She then says that, I don't think about marriage and kids. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm doing this. I went to work today too. I went to work today and worked 9 hours. I had a 9-hour shift. Came home, cooked, and I have done 3 videos. No part in this throughout my day. It is 10 o'clock right now and I am filming. Still have another video to do. No part of this part of my day am I saying, well, shoot, I can keep doing this forever. I never want to have a husband and kids. That doesn't make sense, Roxanne. Be real with this man and tell him you just don't want to marry him because he's a bum. He's a bum. You're a bum, Antonio. You're a bum. You don't work. You stink. You don't make any money. You don't have any ambition. You don't believe when the facts are thrown in your face. Why would she want to marry you? Why would she? Where was Roxanne's father to ask Antonio, would you marry yourself? Would you marry yourself? That's a question that every single person on here should be asking themselves. If you understand the question, would you marry yourself? It's basically saying, why should anybody else want to marry you? If you won't marry yourself, why should anybody else want to marry you? If you wouldn't date yourself, why should anybody else want to date you? When you look at yourself in the mirror, can you honestly say, yes, I am dateable. Yes, I can be married to somebody. I will be a good husband/wife. If you can't honestly say that, then do the self-work. Get to a point where you feel that somebody is I'm baffled. Truly baffled. So he feels that he has made a bunch of changes and she still isn't sure. What have you changed about yourself aside from your shirt? Aside from your shirt, what have you changed about yourself? What growth have you had, Antonio? Because we're not going to applaud you from not getting high and playing video games all day to now you work part-time. We're not going to applaud you for that because you're an adult. And those are the things that adults do. We get our ass up in the morning, we go to work, we make money so that we can pay our bills. We're not going to applaud you for doing the bare minimum. He then said that she is saying things, because he walks out. He is doing like a little interview, and he said that she's saying things she doesn't mean. The delusion is real. I can't take him serious any longer. So let's go to Ryan and James. Ryan and James. So we get this nanny cam footage of them. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And he's asking her if she wants another grilled cheese sandwich. She says no. We then hear him say, don't go making all those fast hand movements, okay? Slapping shit around. And she was like, what? He then was like, don't get upset with me because you're doing something that triggers me. She's asking, I can't read your mind. I don't know what triggers you. Pause. I know that it sounds bad, but if you don't know what triggers somebody, you don't know what triggers somebody. You know what I mean? We do videos as content creators. We do videos. If I don't know something that I can say can trigger you, I don't know. And I think because she doesn't know some things about his past, because he, doesn't want to quite share those yet, She probably triggers him constantly, but she doesn't know because she doesn't know what his triggers are. So we then get this very long, like 3 hour fight between the two of them, where he then tells her, "You tapping your nails triggers me." She tells him he needs to move on from the emotional trauma. She walks out. He feels he can't finish a sentence. Um, she tells him that you need more than I can give you. He does. He needs therapy. He then said, "Oh, but you were able to give those things to Trey, so now you're being petty." She tells him nothing has changed. He still cannot admit when he is wrong. They argued for like literally like 3 hours. They argued for almost 3 hours. When she is in bed asleep, he then tells her sorry. Raya and Trey, they meet up with Raya's sister, who I appreciated how very neutral she was in this conversation. So we find out, we find out that Raya does not want to depend on somebody because she grew up with a single mother, watching her mother be an independent, strong black woman. Okay, so because of that, she more than likely raised her daughters not to depend on anybody and to be very dependent, or excuse me, very independent. So Raya said that she has been working on not shutting down when she's upset and just kind of letting her emotions out. There's nothing wrong with crying. Crying is very cleansing. Very cleansing. Her sister said that, well, Trey, you don't listen to Raya. And it's like Trey kind of looked kind of shocked. But Trey knows he doesn't. Because whenever Raya says that, her sister saying it now, he does this like, oh shit, y'all noticed that too kind of face. So Raya said that, she feels a way about him catching feelings. Feelings don't just, diminish after a couple of days. Her sister is like, look, this is what he came to do. Y'all knew what the process was. He came in, he understood the assignment, he did it. I will say this. I had somebody ask in the comments, if you're doing the trial marriage correct, wouldn't you catch feelings? I don't think so. If you are doing the trial marriage correct, you are learning about yourself. You are learning the things that you want in a marriage, that you don't want in a marriage, the things that you might need to change for your spouse. The queer edition, their season that just went off like a month or two ago, is a great example of that. A great example of that. Tiff and Laura, what's her name? Sam. They were a great example of that, where they were put together. They learned a lot about themselves and what they want in marriage, what they don't want in marriage, what they need to change about themselves to be in a relationship, and they did not catch feelings. You don't have to catch feelings in this process. You don't. But you do have to at least give it a good effort. So her sister said that they both have things that they need to work on, and that, she appreciates Trey for even telling Raya about catching feelings because that shows that he truly cares about her. So he steps away from the conversation because her sister was, well, her sister didn't know they were in love. Don't they live together? Okay. But her sister is like, okay, so like you can't get wet, right? That's the issue. I said, oh Lord, what is going on here? So we find out that Trey steps away. A big issue in their relationship is he can't get her aroused. It wasn't clear if she can't get aroused in general or if he can't get her aroused. They have tried different positions. They're trying a bunch of different things. I guess Raya at the end of the day is concerned that, they both will eventually end up stepping out. She can pleasure him, but he can't pleasure her. Therapy. Therapy. I cannot believe we just watched them have this conversation. Um, if y'all are not sexually compatible, y'all are not compatible. If sex is big to you in your relationship and he cannot get you aroused, y'all don't need to be together. Point blank, period. There's nothing else to say. Ryan said that she doesn't even look at another man. She wants Trey, but she does not know how to get past him getting feelings for someone else. Y'all need to worry about yourself. Next couple, Ryan and James. They are out at like a little, I guess, little picnic. They're out in the park or something. He apologizes. He said for some of the things that he said the night before, but he feels like he is not ever heard. So he then talks about thank you to the person that literally put this entire conversation in the comments and spoiled it. Who Jesus, you were blocked, FYI. Said that his father passed away when he was 2. And his mother was never around. We don't hear why his mom wasn't around, but his mother was never around. So he never was able to get, bounce kind of questions off of his mother, I guess, about his father. He feels that he was having to live up to this like incredible man that everybody said his father was. So in order to deal with that, he would self-harm himself. Not going to go into specifics, but he would self-harm himself. Started at the age of 9. That was how he felt like he could punish himself for not being good enough. So this carried on. Now, I didn't catch when it stopped, but Ryan feels bad that I guess they were together while he was doing this, and she had no idea. Therapy. Because what it clearly seems like, I don't know if we don't know if he's still doing self-harm to himself, but James needs intense therapy. James needs therapy. Like, I almost feel like this show was exploitative in some manner for him. I just I feel like this scene shouldn't have been showed. I feel like it shouldn't have been showed unless they like actually got a therapist and called somebody in to talk to him because he clearly has PTSD. If her, if her tapping if her tapping her nails if her tapping her nails is such a trigger for him because he said that his mom would kind of do this, was your mom like, it's James should have never been on the show. We should not be seeing any of these scenes. um she apologizes for making him feel like he's not enough. She now feels, like she has some regret, some remorse, probably some guilt. If you are somebody that is self harming yourself, please, please, please get the help that you need. There are resources. There are people you can talk to. I'm sure you have a trusted friend or coworker or parent or sibling or somebody. But please, please, please get the help that you need. Get the help that you need. Don't suffer in silence. Don't let it get too bad to where there's no coming back from. Let me know what you guys thought about this very dark episode, and I will catch you guys for episode 8. And I'm gonna hope that at least somebody smiles at least once in the episode. Catch you guys in the next one.